You're listening to the North Star Bible School podcast. North Star is a one-year Bible program dedicated to helping young men and women build their life's foundation on Jesus Christ. Welcome to the North Star Bible School podcast. Today we have with us Andy Miller, what was your title again?
Yeah, the Student Activities Director.
Student Activities Director. So he works a lot with the RAs, me being one of them, and to just plan activities for the students. And we're interviewing him today because we just got back from our week-long backpacking trip, which Andy kind of organized and facilitated for all of us. So to start off, we want to hear about you, about your story, and how you came to be on staff here.
Okay, wow. Well, it's an honor to be here, Daniel, so thank you so much, and thanks for putting all of this on. It's really cool. How did I happen to be here at North Star Bible School? That is a very good question. Most of your audience don't know anything about me. 46 years old. I've been married to my wife for 25 years. I'm a father of 4 boys. I have 2 daughter-in-laws and 1 grandbaby. So I've been
Sweet.
Yeah, I was born and raised here in Alaska. So I like to say I'm a Native Alaskan, but not First Nations, but
Right.
Native Alaskan, and met my wife at high school here in Palmer, and we both went off to Bible school. She went off to a gap year Bible school in Canada. I went off to a gap year Bible school in Europe with Torchbearers International, and we both had an incredible time. Before I was in Bible school, I was plugged in at a really solid Bible church. And actually one of the students at that church, who was maybe like 5 years older than I, discipled me and a bunch of other kids. And being discipled by somebody had a huge impact on my life and my relationship with Jesus. And I started actually serving. I was pretty involved serving in our own little church youth group, my junior year and my senior year. And I count those years as ministry. So I've been in ministry for a long time, right. Not professionally, but serving at a church in a youth group and then going off to Bible school and not only learning the Bible, but also serving at the Bible school was a really awesome experience. And I think that made an impact on me because I could see a lot of personal growth in my own life through serving. And therefore, I encourage people, hey, if you're not serving, you're probably not growing in your faith. Maybe growing intellectually, but not actually growing as a person and sharpening or cultivating your spiritual gifts. So I highly encourage people to start serving. But right after my Bible school year, I actually went back to the school and I directed their outdoor ministry program, and that's where God really took a hold of my life. And that was in 2000 actually. 2000. I served there for 2.5 years, and then I got a youth pastor job in Palmer, Alaska, and I served there for 23 years. So I've been in full-time ministry for 23 years. So how did I find myself at North Star Bible School? That's the original question.
That's the question.
Not to wander too far off into the woods, because when I was working at the Bible school, right after I was a student, before I started youth ministry, I thought this was amazing. I think just a huge light bulb went on in my own brain and my own heart. I loved outdoor stuff, hiking and climbing and biking and skiing like crazy. And I wrestled with this tension of wanting to live for those things and then also like wanting to live for Christ. And I thought that there was a contradiction there, like I can't live for Christ and love the things like all my hobbies. And at the Bible school, though, they actually had this outdoor ministry program where you could use those things as a platform to evangelize and disciple people. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is amazing. Like, you surrender all of those things. You die to self. You surrender those things to go follow Jesus. And then he says, hey, I want you to take those things back, those things that you surrendered. I want to give them back to you. And now I want you to use those for my glory.
Yeah.
So I thought for sure after my time working at the Bible school was over, I thought for sure that he was calling me to start a Bible school in Alaska. I was just 22 years old. So
Right.
being a part of the Bible school, working at a Bible school, the impact that it had on my life, the impact it had on many of the kids in my youth group's lives, I believe in it. I believe in it. That's why after all of these years, when the Lord seemed to move me out of youth ministry and open up doors of opportunity to start a Bible school in Alaska, I was like first in line, arms waving high. Please send me. I want to go. I want to be a part of starting a Bible school in Alaska. So for me, it was pretty simple because I was on the board of the directors here at this facility.
Right.
And at that time, I was the one that our director, Mark, called. And so I was one of the main board members who was doing a lot of the logistics work. So he called me and talked to me, and we were looking for a director. And he had not only a vision for camp and camping ministry, but what really tickled my heart was that he had a heart for discipleship and discipling youth with a gap year program.
Yeah.
And discipleship is my passion. So he was talking to the right person.
So this has been a dream of yours for a long time.
For me, it's been since year 2000.
Yeah. So how's it feel having our first year starting up?
Like a dream, like an absolute dream. Daniel, you have no idea how long I've been thinking and praying about this.
Yeah.
Like actively thinking and praying. I don't just say that glibly. I don't say that tongue in cheek. Meeting with people, circled up, praying, actively praying for this, and when I look back, I just see God's hand at work in it. And in fact, even like 2 weeks before Mark called me up, I had met with a group of people that were actively praying about starting a Bible school. And I told them, hey, if it's going to happen, it's not going to be me. 2 weeks later, Mark calls me up and says, I want to start a Bible school in Alaska. You know what I mean? So, and I said, great, because it's not going to be me, but I'll be your biggest fan, So I'm pinching myself. It really feels like a dream. And people I don't keep my dreams to myself because I'm a blabber. I like to talk.
Right.
And so, people know that this is my passion and this is my heart. And so they're also just so excited to see how God has provided and God has led us this far. And now we have students here, and it's wild. Just wild.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yep.
So, as the activities director, you want to tell us some about the activities that you've been making happen around on campus, and then also about like the backpacking trip and what that was like, why we're doing that?
Yeah, definitely. Well, we were only in 4 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe even things to come.
Oh, yeah, things to come.
About.
Yeah, people, listen. You got to listen to the things to come. It's going to be amazing. Well, the good thing is when you're in Alaska, I feel like we are season driven in Alaska. Winter's coming, and so there's just so many different activities throughout the year that we can do, and I'm really, really excited about it. Well, in youth ministry, one of my greatest fears was getting stuck in a rut, doing the same thing over and over and over. That's just me personally, and that was really helpful in youth ministry. For my own sanity, but also for creativity with the youth. And so we're always just looking for new and exciting things to do, adventures to have, grab kids and take them and go. And in youth ministry, the goal is to spend time with people. Jesus spent time with people, and he didn't just spend time with people in a synagogue. He spent time with people out in the mountains, on the ocean, on the beach, in the fields, in the cities. Where was he? As he was going, he was influencing them by who he was as a person, but also the things that he was doing and the things that he was saying. So he had a huge impact on people as he was doing life. And so my philosophy in youth ministry and my philosophy here at the school is as we do life together, we're going to be influencing people.
Yeah.
So my goal is like, what are some cool things that we can do? So we got a long, long, long list from, well, what we've been doing so far. We've gone on a couple cool hikes. We've gone caving together. We've gone rappelling together. We got on a backpacking trip together, and that's just scratching the surface. That's scratching the surface. I don't, we've only been here 4 weeks, right? I feel like we've done a pretty good job. But I like to get people in the outdoors, and I like to give people cool Alaskan experiences, and I like to give people experiences that they might not get anywhere else. And the goal, my personal goal, is to embed the gospel and our lives in the memories of the students. So throughout the rest of the lives of these students, whether they're walking with Jesus or not, they will never forget the adventures that they were on with us. And if those memories they're savoring those memories in, for years and years and years to come, they're going to be associating, I went ice climbing once in Alaska. But they're going to remember that they went ice climbing with people who loved Jesus. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They're never going to forget going ice climbing in Alaska. They're never going to forget going dog sledding in Alaska. They're going to be telling these stories to their kids, and they're going to be inspiring their kids. They're going to be inspiring their neighbors and their friends, and they're going to be savoring these memories on their deathbed of the time when they came to Alaska and they went hiking and biking and climbing and rappelling and caving and walking on glaciers and ice skating and ice fishing and sleeping in snow caves. Like the amount of things that we can do that are just out of the ordinary are going to embed them. Those are going to be embedded in their memories, and with those memories, by hopefully, Lord willing, the gospel. And even if they don't walk with Jesus later on in life, they're going to send their kids to our school because they're going to want their school. They're going to want their own kids to have that kind of an experience themselves.
Right.
Yeah. Did that answer your question?
I think so.
Kind of, sort of.
And then I guess as far as our backpacking trip this last week, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, the backpacking trip is an important trip, especially to do that in the beginning. The idea is it's not just about going backpacking, but you take a group of students that have only known each other for a few weeks, and then you put them in an environment that is out of their comfort zone. There's a lot of really amazing things that happen. You're pushed out of your comfort zone. You're in an unfamiliar place with unfamiliar people. You're eating unfamiliar food. You're tired. You're wet. You're hungry. You know what I mean? All of those different things kind of bring us to the end of ourselves, and you really have an opportunity to know the true person. The facades start coming off, coming down. The masks start literally.
For sure.
The makeup is off. You haven't been brushing your hair. You haven't been showering. You haven't been brushing your teeth. You're sleeping right next to somebody. You're soaking wet. You're grumpy. And it's just an opportunity to really stretch a person, grow a person, see a true person, bond with people over really, really cool experiences. Like on our particular trip, we were in the backcountry of Alaska, and it was hard. Like the first hill, we had major blisters on the first hill of the first day.
Yeah.
And now we're doing medical stuff, on kids. But when you're hiking in these glacier passes, a lot of the students, they haven't ever climbed a mountain in their entire life. This is the first time they were on a glacier in their entire life.
Right.
And so they're hitting highlights of their life, but they're also hitting lowlights of their life, where you are soaked to your underwear, walking through super tall willows and alders, bushwhacking, crossing rivers, scared out of your mind. Those are the worst times of your life, all in 1 week. The peaks and the troughs of your life, all in 1 week. It's just an awesome experience. So I feel like, we accomplished a lot this week in God's country, seeing God's beauty with God's people, being inspired by his creation and inspired by his word. I think is just an absolute home run.
Yeah, it was a great week.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting to learn to live with people and act godly as you're tired and frustrated and upset about things likely is really good.
It's like when you do life in our comfortable little homes, you never find yourself at the end of your natural virtues. You know, we naturally have a little bit of peace and patience and kindness, right? but but when you're out on a backpack trip, you find the end of those really quick. And when you find yourself at the end of your natural virtues, that's when you're like, Lord, I need you. I need your grace. I need your kindness. I need your peace. I need your strength. Like, this person is bothering me. I need your brotherly affection. And that's really where we can grow, is when we're at the end of ourselves, dependent on the Lord. And that's where we want people to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, and I think you kind of already answered this question, but one of my questions on here is, why college students?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I love people. I think God gave me a special love in my heart for middle schoolers, and maybe that was just because they grew on me over time.
Yeah.
Not like, raise your hand if you want to work with middle schoolers. You don't see a lot of people's hands go up.
Yeah.
I love middle schoolers so much. I am really, really, really excited about working with young adults now. Really excited about it. For one, when I'm in youth ministry, 23 years in ministry, working with middle schoolers and high schoolers, I find myself wanting to teach deeper and deeper and deeper and more in depth, because I'm learning more and I'm growing more about God, about the Lord, about his word, about how to apply his word in everyday life.
Right.
But you have to dumb it down to middle schoolers where they're at. That's the curse of doing youth ministry, is you can never leave youth ministry in your imagination. You're stuck there. And that's like the place that everybody wants to forget. Everyone wants to forget when they were a middle schooler. You know what I mean? It's just that really gangly, awkward time in life, and you try to bury those memories because they're so terrible and traumatic. But as a youth pastor, you have to keep those memories alive. It's just awful. It's really terrible. But you have to apply the word of God to middle schoolers. And you have to apply the word of God to high schoolers. Well, after raising my own children to be like functioning, healthy adults, I find myself doing more and more ministry with young adults and parents, with kids, and counseling parents in parenting, which has been really refreshing. But I'm still, still doing youth ministry, but longing to do more adult ministry, teaching adults the Bible, teaching adults how to parent, teaching adults how to do marriage well. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
And so I'm at a different season in my life where I'm excited to teach people, having gone through these seasons myself now, and like ironing out a bunch of the wrinkles in my own marriage and learning wisdom from other people and on how to be a good husband and how to be a good wife and how to do marriage well and how to do parenting well. I feel like I'm equipped to invest in that age group now more than before. Anyway, so that's why I'm really excited to start working with young adults and have deeper conversations about where they're at and where the Lord's teaching them.
Yeah, that's very cool. And so for the weeks up until now that we've been having school, what have been some highlights for you?
Oh, wow. I am absolutely thrilled with the Lord's provision. Even on this backpacking trip, the Lord's provision, his provision for the school, putting together the staff, the facilities, bringing students. I think, I guess a short answer would the highlight is to see the Lord answer prayer.
For sure.
Like, that is honestly the highlight. And now, underneath that big heading, answered prayer, as Andy's highlight, what are those prayers that he answered? Some of those prayers were our prayers were, "Dear Lord, unless you reach into the hearts of people and stir in them a desire to come to school, like we're not going to have any students. Like we need him to do that work." And then he did
Yeah.
it. And then to hear the stories of how God moved in each person's heart to bring them here has been an absolute highlight. And then the staff, how he brought the staff here has been a highlight. On our backpacking trip, planning trips in Alaska is like an exercise in futility just because the weather is so unpredictable. It's so difficult to plan anything. And so I had my wish list. I had my dream trip planned. If I were to do this trip, I would go, I want to hit this peak. I want to cross this river. I want to see this glacier. I want to, what I mean? I had all of these things that I was hoping that I could do. And then you just surrender those desires to the Lord. And then everything seemed to be against us. And yet we got to accomplish every single one of those desires that I had. I was like, no way. No way.
That's awesome.
On our first try, we got to do every single thing that I was praying, Lord, if you would allow it, could we climb a peak? That kind of stuff. So, and then the last one that I want to mention is community.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a people person. I love people, and my desire is that this school would have a community of people where there's just love and affection and joy and laughter and unity and peace. And I'm seeing that.
For sure.
I'm seeing that. That's been my prayer, and I'm seeing that. So that community is a highlight.
Yeah, that's an answered prayer of mine too. Getting ready to come here, just praying that I would be able to help to form a good Christ-centered community here. And I feel like that's already starting to happen 4 weeks in, and I'm thrilled.
I am thrilled too. Thank you for praying that. Thank you for praying that, and keep praying that. That's been my prayer. It doesn't matter when you have amazing lecturers come, but there's a disunity on the staff or disunity in the students. It's just palpable.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can feel it. It's really, really hard to learn and grow in a community where there's strife.
Right.
It's awful. And Satan loves to bring strife in. And so it's actually kind of hard.
Yeah.
Because he uses us to aggravate us to the point where we have to be gracious. Like that's how we grow in grace, is by being a community that rubs each other the wrong way. But how you deal with that in a gracious way can cause growth. But if you deal that in an ungodly way, it can cause strife and fractures in your community. So it takes a lot of prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for praying that. That's great.
Yeah, for sure. And so, a little less serious questions.
Sure.
Obviously, you've had meals with us here,
Yep.
and we have a wonderful cook, wonderful kitchen staff. What has been your favorite meal so far?
Dude, our cook is killing it. Karen is doing an amazing job, a really amazing job. For sure, I have a favorite. My favorite was the noodles. Do you remember when she this was like, I didn't even know. There's like a trend going right now. There's like a top ramen. Have you a top ramen trend where people are opening up like top ramen restaurants, like Asian noodle restaurants?
Oh.
Did you know that?
I didn't know it was a trend.
Dude, it's
but,
happening, man. People are like getting super into like fancy ramen noodles.
Yeah, well, I mean, I remember the meal that we had.
Yeah.
It was just like a bunch of, it seemed like plain noodles, and then you put whatever sauce you want in.
Dude,
and then
yeah, it was a
I
noodle
did
bar.
really enjoy that. We had mushrooms, we had all sorts of things to stick
Yeah,
in
you
there.
you just like grab a big old pile of noodles and you stick it in this big old bowl. It's like a big bowl.
Right.
You got a big pile of noodles, and then you just go down the line and you're putting all of these like toppings and stuff on it, and the broth on it. Oh my goodness.
It was really good.
I've
I almost
never-
forgot about that.
Have you ever had that like at a cafeteria or at a school or anything?
No.
Oh man, that was amazing. So, obviously, I forget what meat she did. She did some amazing prime rib or something
Yeah.
like that, and that's always delicious. And
No, I mean the food here has been amazing compared to any cafeteria food I've had before. I was homeschooled, so I didn't have school food, but like eating food off of like on military bases,
yeah,
it was all right. But this is much better. And also, if any MW people are listening, the MW food was also really good. Caitlin is a fantastic cook, but I can't say any preferences because
yeah.
I don't want to cause strife there.
Well,
but-
I've had food at many schools and many cafeterias and at many camps, and there's a philosophy around why people do food a certain way in different organizations, and that's important that they are doing it with intentionality. And then finances also have a big part to play in that, where
right.
if a school or if a camp just builds a big gym and they're trying to pinch pennies to pay off the gym, it's going to be reflected oftentimes in the food budget.
Right. Well, and I think part of it is also because we have fewer students.
That's right.
Here we can take advantage of that and do more. What's the word I'm looking for?
Creativity.
More creativity in the
extravagance.
meals.
Yeah.
We can, Karen said she's trying to do different kinds of ethnic foods and that kind of thing, which is different when you're feeding like 70 or more people. You can't really afford to go extravagant and feed a bunch of people,
It helps.
brisket and king salmon and things like that.
yeah.
But we can do that here, so that's nice.
Hey, it is duck hunting season, by the way. I've told my
Oh.
son, he's out hunting ducks. I said, Tobin, we need some ducks. We need some ducks. Wouldn't that be awesome to have
That would
duck?
be sweet.
Hey,
Maybe,
I wanna-
for a banquet.
Oh man, that'd be great. I do want to mention though, I appreciate that they value good food,
Mm-hmm.
and their philosophy, the way they do food, I also appreciate. Where people can just come in, grab their food, go through the line, sit down wherever they want, and enjoy the conversations around the table without feeling like there's a hard and fast. This is a start time. This is a stop time. This is your seat. You know what I mean?
Meal times is like a big community time.
Yeah.
And that's why at dinners we have assigned tables for people so that, we mix up who they're sitting with so they're not with the same people every meal. And so they get to commune with everyone.
Yeah. And
So-
I just love it where people, they want to linger. The conversations are
Oh, yeah.
usually so good that the kitchen,
Even after the food's all gone
Yeah.
and you've cleared your dishes, you're still there talking.
the kitchen crew is probably a little annoyed because they want to do dishes and nobody has cleared their table yet because there's just such good conversation around the table. The food's good. The conversation is good. Nobody's rushed to get out there. It's a huge blessing. I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Good question.
Yeah. Well, another one.
All
I
right.
guess you kind of already answered this. I could probably take a stab at what this is, but what's your favorite pastime?
Oh man, I don't know if you could take a stab at that because what would you say? What would you say, Daniel? What do you think my favorite pastime is?
Well, I guess maybe I couldn't list one, but probably just anything outdoorsy.
Okay, that
be
is
my
pretty
guess.
good. That is pretty good. I have so many, Daniel, so many, but they're all like season driven and weather driven.
Right.
And so right now I am feeling the urgency to get every little drop of climbing in.
Yeah. I have yet to go climbing.
Dude, I know. And see, that's the challenge is it's like when there's a sunny day, you have to just stop what you're doing and you
Yeah.
have to go.
And there's always something going on.
I know. That's why I feel this urgency because like it's getting colder and colder. It's getting darker and darker. And I'm looking forward to the next season as soon as it snows, I can breathe this sigh of relief and I can put all my climbing gear away because it's done.
Right.
But then it's like ice climbing season.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness! I was just talking to my son Bodie this morning at the dinner or the breakfast table, and I was like, Bodie, dude, what are you looking forward to? And he's really looking forward to ice climbing.
I'm looking forward to it too. And I've never done ice climbing.
I
So
can't wait to take you, man. You are gonna have so much fun.
yeah.
And then so what's great about winter time in Alaska And it's one of my favorite seasons is wintertime, believe it or not. Most people think that's crazy. But if you're not doing stuff in the winter, then you might as well just leave Alaska because there's no point in being here. But I love broomball.
Oh,
That is so fun.
I haven't played it, but I've heard a lot about it from my Minnesota friends.
Oh my goodness, we're gonna have so much fun. I love ice skating. I love grooming ski trails. I love snowshoeing. I love backcountry skiing, and I love ice climbing. I love snow caving.
Yeah.
And so we're going to have so much fun this winter. And wintertime often is like beautiful and sunny, which isn't that kind of a weird thought? It's dark, but when it's light, oftentimes it's just brilliantly light.
Oh, yeah.
And so you're running around doing all of these things. So I'm excited to show all the students. I'm so excited to take the students ice climbing. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think
I
it's
love
gonna be
ping
great.
pong. Actually, I really, really love foosball.
Yeah, I'm not very good at foosball. But
Yeah.
maybe you can help me be better.
Yeah, okay.
But
Let's play.
yeah, I do love ping pong though.
I love art. I love music. I love it, man. You guys are doing this. Has been a fun school year with all the music that's happening. It's
Yeah,
so cool.
for such a small class, we have a lot of musicians.
Dude, you want to know one of my highlights? Is just, I've told multiple people this, is like I built that little violin out of a kit, like, I don't know, 15 years ago. And it sat on my wall. I built this little violin out of a kit so that I could,
Yeah.
and I learned how to play the mandolin so I could learn how to play the violin. But I never learned how to play the violin. And so it just hung on the wall for 15 years and just as a piece of art, nobody ever played it.
Yeah.
And it's gotten more use here in the last 4 weeks than it has ever gotten in its entire life. And it just makes me so happy. Isn't that cool?
Yeah. I mean, we've got an awesome violin player.
Man.
Shout out to Caleb.
Yeah, Caleb he's killing it. It's so fun.
Yeah, it sounds so good with the worship. Really complements it.
Definitely. We need to get a band going and go like lead some worship at some of the local churches.
Yeah,
I think that'd be fun.
that would be cool.
Yeah.
Go on tour.
Go on tour. No, just like, hey, give the youth, it's like sometimes it's good to give a pastor a break and preach for the pastor, and sometimes it's good to give the youth or the worship pastor a break.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be fun.
that'd be cool. Anything else you want to talk about?
Oh,
That's kind of the end of our structured questions.
man, I think the one thing I love talking about is discipleship. I love talking about discipleship and hearing what people are doing to make disciples, and I'm really excited. I'm excited for year 10 and year 15 and year 20 because there is room for improvement. And the things that I learned over the last 20 some years doing ministry and trying to just get a really tight grip on what does it mean to make disciples, to take somebody who's a fresh new believer and grow them up to spiritual maturity.
Yeah.
I want to be good at that. That's the one thing that Jesus calls us to do. And I think I want to be good at that. And I have a lot of things that I want to see implemented here at our school, but also to grow in that and make really, really, really good disciples who are making disciples who are making disciples.
Yeah.
So,
and even seeing like how the staff grow in the next few years too.
yep.
And how the school changes. And, we're kind of at a starting point where sort of carbon copied a lot of our stuff from another school.
That's right.
But seeing later how we might change a few things here and there, and it'll turn into our own program, and it'll be great.
That's right. And that's going to happen naturally.
Yeah.
As we, of course, we are all different. This is kind of an Alaskan-y culture,
Yeah.
but it's going to become its own unique identity as a school as we grow into who we are and why we're doing what we're doing, and kind of making it our own. But I think the really cool part about the Christian faith is that although there's diversity, there's unity, because we're building this program on the foundation of the gospel of Jesus Christ and Christ alone and the full counsel of God from Genesis to Revelation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the diversity of us just being an Alaskan school and all the uniqueness that brings, but also the unity of following our head, Christ Jesus. That's cool.
Yeah,
The world needs schools like this.
for sure. I totally agree.
Yeah.
And then a little section on recommended resources.
Okay.
So thinking back to like college years or like early years in ministry, what was a book that was really helpful to you besides the Bible, obviously?
Wow, man. There are so many. And I don't know if it's the way that my brain works. Maybe everybody's brain works like this, but it's hard to come up with one favorite book because I have themes in my life. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's like themes.
Yeah.
And so if you were to ask me, hey Andy, what's one of your favorite books on holiness? I could tell you. Or what's your favorite book on prayer? I could tell you.
So maybe not like your favorite book, but just one that was really helpful to you.
Okay. A book that was really, really helpful for me as a person who wants to be a clear communicator of the Word of God. Like I want to communicate clearly and effectively God's Word. Teaching and Preaching with Imagination by Warren Wiersbe. If you want to be a pastor or a teacher or anyone, a communicator, a mom or a dad, or it doesn't really matter, anybody that just wants to be an engaging speaker, and I'm not saying I am, I'm saying I want to be.
Right.
Okay? So
yeah,
I want to be, and this is an area that I want to grow in, is that was such a helpful book. Teaching and Preaching with Imagination. And Warren Wiersbe is an incredible communicator. He is a legend as a communicator. And so it's a book on preaching and teaching and how to engage being an imaginative preacher and teacher. And when you look at Jesus and how Jesus taught, I mean, it was perfect. Like he would the kingdom of heaven is like, like a field. The kingdom of heaven is like this, or it's like that. And he's always just like engaging people's minds and imagination. I am the door. I am the bread. I am these things. And people are like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Such an imaginative communicator. So I would highly recommend that book.
very cool.
Yeah.
And so in the last year, what has been a book really helpful to you?
Okay. Well, in the last year of the books that I've read, I would say probably the most helpful for me has been, I think the title is Killer Teams. Killer Teams. I would have to look it up. Or Building a Killer Team, and I forget who the author was right off the top of my head because I forgot to research. I forgot to remind myself of your question. And the reason why I think that would be the most helpful is because I'm in a position where we're building teams. Right now, as we're starting a Bible school and we're assembling a team, it's on my mind. And also, I'm passing on youth ministry to my son, and I'm helping him establish teams for his youth ministry. So that's why I would say it's been a helpful book for me. And there's many other great books on leadership and on building teams, but that's just one that I had currently read that has been a help to me. Thanks for the question.
Cool. Yeah, it's very cool. Well, that's the end of my questions. Anything else you want to
No, I just want to
say or?
I want to encourage you. First off, well, thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate that. That's
I mean,
fun.
it seemed like the logical thing to do. You know, we've been interviewing the professor for each week, and since we didn't have a professor for last week, you kind of planned the whole backpacking trip. So
I guess I'm the guy this week.
Yeah,
cool.
You're the guy.
I didn't feel like the guy because I just felt part of the team, which is, I guess, maybe that's a win, right? But no, I thank you for inviting me and letting me blab on and on about my thoughts. And keep up the good work, Daniel. I think this is excellent that you're doing this and learning how to do this. It's going to be great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll want to stay tuned as we have more podcast episodes coming. And if you or anyone you know is interested in Bible education and discipleship in the beautiful mountains of Alaska, you can find more info at nsbs.life. That's nsbs.life.